So, we've covered the space around our planet with millions of deadly pieces of destruction. And we also put a $1 trillion global infrastructure network right in the danger zone. Faith can move mountains, but sugar water can't cure cancer. It's more of a splash than a crash. Our gut is like a garden in which we constantly decide what will grow and blossom. Okay, so are we being simulated? Well, maybe. Why are you still here? Which would mean that the vast majority of all conscious beings that will ever have existed are simulated. Humans are expensive to keep alive. We only need enough universe to fool the inhabitants of our simulation into thinking that they're real. You might be on a small planet speeding through eternal nothingness, or a simulation inside a computer. Your existence does not become more or less scary and bizarre. Together, the leptons and quarks are the matter particles. They make up all the things you see. The air you breathe, the sun that warms you, the computer you're using right now to distract yourself from the stuff you should be doing. Bishops move diagonally, massless particles move at the speed of light, knights can jump, gravity attracts. Protons and neutrons rearrange, making long cylinders or sheets, enormous nuclei with millions of protons and neutrons shaped like spaghetti and lasagna, which physicists call nuclear pasta. Eventually, beneath the pasta, we reach the core. Imagine NASA announced today that they found aliens. Bacteria on Mars, weird alien fish in the oceans of Europa, and also ancient alien ruins on Titan. Wouldn't that be great? Well, no, it would be horrible news. Devastating even. But the absolute best kind of neutron stars are friends with other neutron stars. Since the EU is ridiculously complex and politicians are even worse than scientists at naming things, that's Mount Everest in a cup of coffee. The way we treat animals will probably be one of the things future generations will look down on in disgust. While all these things are true, something else is true too. Steak is amazing. Burgers are the best food. Chicken wings taste great. The daytime sky had a tiny yellow ball that warmed our skin. Being a citizen of the European Union means that many aspects of our lives are regulated by a weird entity. One of the aliens might think for a second, oh, tiny little apes, they build really cute concrete structures. Oh well, now they're dead, before activating warp speed. The daytime sky had a tiny yellow ball that warmed our skin. The road to deadly nuclear weapons is always paved with peaceful reactors. Tiny Finland. Do you feel uncomfortable now? Europeans are really good at war. They come in various degrees of scary. More people is going to mean more people. If you don't remember the 13.75 billion years that went by before you existed, then the trillions and trillions and trillions of years that come after will pass in no time once you're gone. And we'll be back in the year 12,017. In the 1960s, scientists bombarded plants with radiation. We don't know any more about human existence than you do. In a way, it feels like the cruelest joke in existence has been played on us. All we might need is for someone to convince a smart billionaire to make it their next problem to solve. Okay, wait a second. These strange thingies make up all the matter in the universe. Human existence is scary. Our videos induce existential dread in many people, and the last few minutes probably haven't helped. Human society is extremely complex and fragile, built upon various pillars. One of them is the honeybee. The last words of every advanced civilization would be, "This new device will solve all of our problems once I push this button." What if our universe comes with a self-destruct button to eliminate itself so cleanly and efficiently that every single physical thing would just stop existing and life would be impossible forever? If you had to choose right now, how long would you want to live? But humans decided that space starts here. We call this rock Earth. So for now, we only know that wormholes exist in our hearts and on paper in the form of equations. Imagine NASA announced today that they found aliens. We have ugly underground subway stations. This is funky. Terminator seeds. The remaining 7% is a tour of the periodic table of elements. Nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, sodium, chlorine, magnesium, iron, fluorine, zinc, copper, iodine, selenium, chromium, manganese, molybdenum, cobalt, lithium, strontium, aluminium, silicon, lead, vanadium, arsenic, and bromine. Whew. By the way, this also means you're about 0.5% metal, no matter what your favorite music is. The internet became a communication tool, a retail tool, a research tool, a propaganda tool, a spying tool, a shopping tool, a dating tool, an entertainment tool, and a way of skiving off work while making it look like you're working or studying, which is what you may be doing now. We could say you touched every living being that came before you with your DNA. A really daunting and depressing hypothesis is that once a species takes control over its planet, it's already on the path to self-destruction. Technology is a good way to achieve that. Evolution, then, is the answer to the question that we have all asked on seeing a Dachshund and a Great Dane together. So, you could call yourself a temporary collection of atoms. You are not alone. You never were. You never will be. Wow. Okay, Ebola is nasty. Then our pill would be the diameter of the distance between the Earth and the Sun. 150 million kilometers. A pill so massive that it would collapse into a black hole under its own mass. So our bodies do not only accept the invasion of microorganisms, they welcome it. Every sip of water would be a supercharged homeopathic cocktail. That's very easy. You just transplant some healthy poop. Imagine the smartest ant on Earth living next to an amusement park. It's curious about what humans are up to, so you try to explain. Unfortunately, the ant just doesn't understand. You, dear viewer, are living in a simulation. So don't burn your house down to test if there will be glitches. Your body might feel like it's filled with bubbly things, but it might be empty until you open it. Who needs billions of galaxies? We only need the space our subjects are allowed to explore. Dark energy is even more strange and mysterious. We can't detect it, we can't measure it, and we can't taste it. Imagine driving a car at 100 kilometers an hour while constantly rebuilding every single part of it with stuff you collect from the street. That is what cells do. But things don't just exist, they also do stuff. You are matter. Pitch black and under 1,000 atmospheres of pressure, it's a relatively pristine environment thanks to the absence of humans. A great place for our nuclear test. Humanity got a similar wish granted when we learned how to turn brown, stinky goo into magic. Plastic. The planet is too big. It doesn't care. Get it for Christmas for your friends, families and kids, or to distract yourself from the fact that there are 100 billion Earth-like planets in the habitable zone of sun-like stars in the observable universe, and you will never visit any of them. On the fun side, we made things glow in the dark. Do you feel confused right now? We certainly do. There was liquid stuff we could drink. If the universe ends in heat death, every humiliation you suffer in your life will be forgotten. Bonus points if you make the life of other people better. More bonus points if you help build a galactic human empire. Einstein is often quoted as having said, "If honeybees die out, humans will follow a few years later." Actually, he probably didn't say that, but there might be some truth in the statement. War is so 20th century. Then, where are all the aliens? If you had a sufficiently large bathtub, Saturn would swim in it. Clever Americans threatened with nuclear annihilation by the Russians? Nice idea. Most internet traffic in 1976 was email, because academics thought electronic post-it notes were dead cool. Anyone with an unsuitable mix will be selected from the environment. The dinosaurs have disappeared, but you are alive, watching this video. At about 100 kilometers, Earth stops and space begins.